Hey, what is up guys? Cortez, and happy October. We finally made it into the fall. And to really kick off the season, I'm going to be doing kind of a throwback review with the Suavecito Pomade 2019 limited edition. Now, unfortunately, I neglected to review this pomade last year, and I totally take the blame for that. It was my fault. That's why I'm going to do a throwback review with it today. Now, if you guys remember the 2019 Suavecito limited edition, it was going for a Dia de los Muertos aesthetic. And the whole idea is that it was going to be the Day of the Dead, obviously, because Day of the Dead is at the end of October, spilling into early November. And so, obviously, it was meant to fit the Halloween / Day of the Dead season. Now, what I liked about this is that they kind of went all out with the aesthetic of it and the whole design. I loved it a lot. The colors pop out. They're great. They're very reflective. The borders on the jar right here, they look like papel picado. And the Suavecito mascot himself has the sugar skull. And so I love the design and what they did with it. Now, in terms of the fragrance itself, it was called Calaca Sage, and it's very fitting because it does have that herbal bold scent to it. Similar to what they put out a couple years ago with their clove scent, you do get a little bit of clove with this because it feels warm, but I noticed that it's got a peppery blend in it as well. Last I checked, the mixture had a little bit of citrus with lemon, some sweet jasmine in the profile, and of course sage. But I also did detect a little bit of clove in there as well. I would say that clove is one of the predominant scents in this pomade just because, like I said before, it has the warmth to it. In terms of the lemon, I get that a little bit at the beginning. It's very subtle, but you do detect it. Towards the end with the sweet jasmine, I would say it's a very closing note, but just like the lemon, it's very subtle. So you're definitely getting a lot of warm notes. Some of the undernotes are a little bit sweet, but they are kind of, I would say, overshadowed by the boldness that the fragrance has in this pomade. This personally was one of my favorite scents to use because it just fit with the season so well. And I think that this one is probably up there with the Oktoberfest scent because of that boldness. And I would say that this was one that was super ideal for men. Definitely, this is one that you could use, especially for the fall, the winter, and as an evening scent if you're going to go on a date. That definitely worked for that criteria right there. Since I am using the OG/original hold, it's pretty easy to scoop out. It doesn't get super stiff in your hair. In terms of application, I got minimal tug and pull from it. Same when I was combing it, no tug and pull whatsoever. I do recommend you guys moisten your hair a bit because since this is a water-based pomade and it does get stiff, it's just easier that your hair is a little bit damp as opposed to it being dry in which you're going to be pulling out hairs. In terms of sheen, you get the typical medium shine to it. It gets a little bit matted when you're wetting your hair and combing it again, but I mean, that's to be expected. That's pretty much with almost any water-based pomade. So this is how my hair looked overall. As I mentioned before, since this is kind of a throwback pomade, I'm not sure if you guys can still find it online. Obviously, it's not on the Suavecito site anymore. I'm sure there's still some floating around out there, so if you guys can, try to get your hands on it because this pomade was good. I have to say, though, the scent on this is super underrated. It was what a guy really wants if he wants to get a bold smelling pomade, and that they captured with this super well. If you guys can, try to look for it, get your hands on it. I recommend that you guys try to get this because, like I said, it was an amazing scent to use back in the day, or about a year ago, and just hands down one of my favorites. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, and subscribe for more.
Watch Cortez on YouTube.com.